know if you guys can hear this or not. This is what it should look like right here. But I don't know if you can hear anything right now. Jeff said, there we go. What do you mean by there we go? YouTube guys are being pissed. Super pissed. Super pissed. You can hear it really clear now. For some reason, I can't hear it out of the live stream though. I can hear my voice, but not out of the live stream. For some reason, I can't hear it out of the live stream though. I can hear my voice, but not out of the live stream. Right, I get that the sound hearing me is real good, and I'm talking about the music. If not, it doesn't matter because I'm going to edit this anyway to where I'm going to edit it for the first few minutes of the doing this because I know that YouTube is definitely not alerting people that I'm live on this particular video. But nevertheless, let me push on. How are you good people doing? I hope you guys are all out there doing well. Welcome to the channel. You know that you're watching my channel, Model Renaissance Man, in which I'm greatly appreciative of. So make sure you guys do the typical things I tell you to do on my pre-recorded videos. And that means clicking the thumbs up button. That means clicking the bell notification after you have subscribed to the channel. And in doing so, it's going to bring down a drop box for you to select all notifications. And once it does that, select all notifications. That way you should, in theory, get notified when I post a video. So anyway, this is going to be something, guys, I'm going to go into. Because as y'all can see, typically, hundreds of people are in here by now. And since they're not, is letting me know that YouTube is a little teed off about what I'm getting ready to show you guys, all right? So, first of all, let me do a little sound check right here to make sure that what I'm about to show you, I want to make sure that you guys are going to be able to not only see, but I want to make sure you can hear this, all right? So I'm going to play this a little bit, and you guys let me know if you can hear this.
So when segregation ended, right, black people, or when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison.
Okay, so starting that off right there first, I just want to know if any of you heard that part right there. Thank you. You said no sound? Don't worry. I expected something like this. Give me a second. Give me a second. Because I want to make sure the peeps can hear. All right, what about now? Check this out.
If you are sleeping in a position like this...
of course they're going to give me a commercial. Give me a second. Those of you that are tuning in through the mobile, appreciate y'all being here. Now, to those of you...
Segregation ended, right? Black people, or when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison and...
Appreciate that, Kissy Welker.
Okay, no. What's your name?
All right. So this is the video that we're about to watch right here, folks. Okay? Just letting you know, those of you that are tuning in through the mobile, this is the video that I'm about to bring up and that we're all about to watch right here, okay? Just giving y'all a heads up. All right. So let's go.
Black people were, when slavery ended, actually, black people were just forced wherever, right? So they had nowhere to go. And then there was laws put in place to put them into prison. And after...
It's okay. No. What's your name? Guys, what's your name?
Jackson.
It takes a lot of courage to come up here.
Yeah, no,
Let's
I
just
know.
take a deep breath. Okay, I'm not here to pick on you.
No, I
and
know.
I
I need to get my
appreciate
thoughts
it.
together.
No, it's okay.
I
know
knew
this can be very intimidating getting into a crowd like this. So just take a deep breath. Let me make your argument. I'm going to make your argument for you, and I'm going to tell you why I think it's wrong. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the
Okay,
argument that is being made, that you want to make, is that there's legacies of injustice.
Yes.
And that those legacies impact one generation after the other. And when those things get handed down, you have what is a system or a systemic issue that isn't just isolated in 2024. So the argument that you're making is that what happened in 1954 does impact 2024 of decade after decade after decade. Let me tell you my response to that. Of course, there is some truth to that. However, every culture, every person in this audience can point to issues that families or generations prior had that were able to overcome. So the question is, why is it that Black America is one of the only populations, that and Native American populations, that have not been able to overcome such evil, horrors, and injustices? Here's my perspective, and I want to hear what you have to say, is that the number one way to keep people out of poverty, lower the crime rate, and have a better society is whether or not you have a mom and a dad around, which we agree that's an ideal. Yeah?
Now, I'm stopping it right there for a specific reason, is because a lot of people will take what he just said right there. A lot of people will take what he just said right there, right? And what you would do, a lot of y'all tend to take that and try to say some of the most ridiculous remarks like, how can he speak on what the black people need? How can he speak on, but then yet at the same time, I'm just giving y'all some little nuggets of wisdom right here. At the same time, you go into a hospital, it's a high probability that the doctor that you're going to have is going to be white. So then how dare that doctor speak on the problem or the issue that you have in your own personal life in regards to illnesses? How dare the doctor speak on the issue? You know what I mean? So it's crazy when people make that dumb argument like, this is a white dude speaking on black people issues. He don't know nothing about black people issues. He ain't black. So this is where people get lost at right from the beginning. If you are of the mindset that as soon as somebody white says something about some things that are going on in the black population and you feel like they shouldn't speak on it because they're white, it's already a wrap. You are a complete block to your own success when you have a mindset like that. So let me get back to the original video and we'll get back on it.
Cool. And so what happened in 1964 is that 25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. Today, it's nearly 75%, about 70%. So that means that 1 in 4 black kids will have a father around. Only 1 in 4. That's the number one issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism. I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
Okay, so I think I misjudged you at first. Like when you brought up the 1350.
Glad he said that. He misjudged him because a lot of y'all are doing that right now. A lot of people are doing that right now where you misjudging him.
Stat, I had like just assumed that it was like inherently like eugenics based kind of, you know. So, and that's where mine came from.
Margaret Sanger, it might be a little bit, bro. So you might be a little right when it comes to that with Margaret Sanger.
I think we are on the same page that like we know what the problem is, and that's what I mean. Like,
no, and thank you for saying that, because I think we actually have a lot more in common in this country than the media would ever believe.
No, definitely, right?
See what Charlie said? I think we have more in common than what the media would believe, or how the media would deceive y'all into thinking that we don't. Because all they want to show is parts that he don't agree with, and take these little sound bites or these little bullet points and these little shorts of what Charlie Kirk said and twist his words around.
And like what my point was, I was trying to say is I don't think that we're doing enough to help these black communities, where as like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's just these factors that
buddy. No, Negroes are not over policed. I'm sorry, this is why I'm going to disagree with him at. If black people were over policed, you wouldn't have a whole lot of crime. See, young men like this, I would say that to him. How if black people are over police, you wouldn't have a lot of crime in these areas where there's high crime. Why? Because the police presence is there. Now, some of you might try to say, no, that doesn't mean that. What they mean is that by the police being there, they just arresting black people for no reason. Well, that means there would be no more black people to arrest. Come on, so let's not go down that road. But I don't agree with him on that one.
Are contributing to, like, where as like they're underfunded and they're not, and they're over policed, and there's these factors that are contributing to, like you said, these single parent households.
Yeah,
like,
so we're not going to agree on this. This is where we'll disagree, and that's okay. I have more of a view of Thomas Sowell on this, where he believes it's far more about culture, values, and worldview than stuff and over policing. I believe there's not enough police in black neighborhoods. You're going to disagree with that.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
not even get into
I
it,
agree.
okay? But I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years, where America did become less racist?
Because they were subsidized. Because black women got tricked into marrying the government. That's how. I hope he answers this right. Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Dude, come on.
what, like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
I can't answer your question.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And again, it's hard to get up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that, yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and
I want to take this time real quick and show you guys something. Listen to this.
stupid? That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single.
Can't answer your
No,
question.
that's
I can't.
for 50 years where America did become less racist. America neighborhoods, you're going to disagree with that. Let's
Watch
not even
this.
get into it, okay? But I think we can ask a question, and I want your opinion. Why is it that the single motherhood rate in black America went from 25% to 75% over 50 years where America did become less racist?
Like, why did it?
Yeah, so what caused black America to go from one of the strongest nuclear family communities in the country to now the weakest by far?
Now, you heard what Charlie Kirk said right there? That is 100% true. Ladies and gentlemen, if they're able to show you guys some articles, right? If they're able to show you some articles, did you know that 1953, okay? Let me look at y'all. Let me see if I can get you, if I can see you guys, okay? Sorry to the people that's on the mobile. Listen to me. Listen to me real quick. There's no video showing? I'm confused. Did y'all say there's no video? Check this out. 1953, real estate journal called Blacks, the nation's new middle class. The same year, Time magazine wrote the signs of Negro prosperity everywhere. On the rooftops of Manhattan, Harlem Groves, and Bare Ugly Forest, TV antenna, which has become the new symbol of middle class achievement. Black progress during this period was not limited to New York City. The scholars Stephen and Abigail Thernstrom reported a nationwide the number of blacks quadrupled, the number of black teachers quadrupled between 1940 and 1970, and the number of social workers and registered nurses rose even more, from under 10,000 to almost 110,000, with much of the expansion preceding the Great Society programs in the late 1960s. Again, the Real Estate Journal wrote that blacks are the nation's newest middle class, and that was in 1953. When was the Civil Rights Movement? And now you're talking post-Civil Rights Movement? Blacks are the nation's what now? The poorest? How did that happen? Yeah. I'm gonna leave you to ponder that. Racism. Wait. You want to say because of racism, but it was more racist post-slavery up to the 1950s and 60s, and then even past the 60s. But during that period where it was legal to be racist, where it was segregation, during that period where you could legally discriminate against people, you telling me that black people during that time still became the nation's new middle class? But here we are in 2025, and you're telling me in 2025, when there's laws and regulations completely, yeah, but it's still going on. You believe that bullcrap? They got you to believe that right now in 2025, you got some white people that are sitting up there. You got white people sitting up there. Yeah, I cannot wait to come across one of these black guys' resume. Can't wait to come across one of these black guys' application. I'm going to turn it right on back down. And I'm not going to choose him to come and work for him because he's black. You telling me that's what's going on in 2025? It's amazing that in 2025, with all the latest modernization of things, all the technology that we have right now, you still got some of y'all believing in the way back when we shall overcome. I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain. Y'all, they got y'all young people believing that bull crap today in 2025. Well, I know the reason why I didn't get the job because I'm black. But yet, even if you are trying to use that as an excuse, can you please tell me, how is it that during the time when it was legal to be like this towards black people, we were doubling the amount of jobs we were getting, quadrupling, becoming professional teachers and becoming nurses and things like that, right? During the time when that was legal to do it. But here we are in 2025. And what's stopping us now? Yeah, give you something to think about. Give you something to think about. Let me get back to the original stream, folks. Hit that thumbs up button if you would, please. Hit the thumbs up button, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
I can't answer your question.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And again, it's hard to get up and have these conversations. Here's my opinion. My opinion is that, yes, there was some social welfare that subsidized single motherhood, which means it's easier to get cash from the government if you say you are single than if you are married. I think we can agree that's stupid. That shouldn't happen, right? But I would love your perspective on this. Do you think in black culture, getting married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bro, you stand with one woman? Man, ain't no way y'all can do that, man. Man, you know how women outnumber men in America? And you know how women outnumber men in America? Do you know how black women outnumber black men in America? Man, ain't no way. No, you can tell by a lot of stuff they push on us. You can tell by a lot of the things that they push amongst the community of what is celebrated amongst black folks. Booty shaking, twerking, the gangster rap, the killing rap, the I got platinum in my mouth, the crazy tattoos and hair, the sagging of the pants. That stuff is celebrated and pushed amongst the black culture. It always has been since I was a kid. And if you do anything the opposite of that, you get looked at as being corny. You get looked at as being a lame. You get looked at as being a sellout. You get looked at as trying to be like white people. It's not celebrated. Let's keep it real. I wonder what he's going to say.
Married and staying with one woman for your entire life is elevated and celebrated?
No, not at all.
Good.
I think that's the problem.
I think the problem stems from a lack of education.
Nope.
I think these communities don't have. I don't think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to.
Were you abused by a member of the
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up button right now while this commercial is playing, all right? I'm going to pause and I'm going to go back to it so y'all don't lose this train of thought. Here we go.
I think a lot of them have the proper education or learning from previous to realize what will lead them to a more successful future. I think that if we funded more education in these systems, then these men wouldn't be so focused on stuff like gang violence to get protection or money or
you have a great
other stuff like that, and then end up in prison and then end up with their child having a single mother.
Fair enough.
I can agree with him a little bit to that, but I don't think it has. See, even with what he just got done saying there, ladies and gentlemen, and if y'all didn't hear what he said, he pretty much just got done saying that he feels that if there was a lot more, if you think about it, subsidies to the black community, he think they would do well. It's almost like saying that black people got reparations, they would do better. It's almost like saying that they got more funding. See, this is exactly him right now. There's nothing against what the young man saying. He can only say what he's been around, what he's been taught, what he has knowledge of. So no hate on him for that. But here's the deal. He's only saying what has been pushed down to him. So, for example, here in Chicago, right? Brandon Johnson, look what he's saying. I think black people would be better if we got more funding. See what I'm saying? If we got more funding, if we had better resources, if we had more money to allocate towards, see, money is not the thing. You're not hearing that. Money is not the issue. The funding that y'all get is not the issue. The issue is your mother and dad at home. The issue is you would hope and pray that you have both parents at home and that both your parents are educated enough to know the basics, not just to living, but the basics when it comes to scholastics. See, my wife and I, we read to our sons. My wife and I, we helped our sons with our homework. When our kids came with homework, we taught them too as well. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. So not only does it serve as a nice little refresher for any adults that did this math and science and things like that before, but also your child is becoming smarter through what you're showing them as well. See, too often things got flipped. We flipped it in a way to where we rely on the teachers. Your teacher should be teaching you that. I shouldn't be having to do this. No, as a parent, you should be doing it because you were the original teachers of your children anyway. You were the original teachers. Slaves weren't supposed to learn how to read, but they were being taught how to read. Their parents were sneaking things, learning themselves, and they started teaching it to their children. What happened? Now you got this dumb stuff that got twisted around. Y'all remember a few years ago when it was like it's racist to do math and that reading is racist as well? Ridiculous. So I get this. I understand what he's saying right now, but the answer is not that. If you have some very involved parents, it will not be an issue to say we need better funding for school and all that. You want to know why? Especially in 2025, you have something called YouTube at your fingertips that has retired professors, they have retired teachers of all subjects on YouTube right now that will teach you how to do everything. So in today's world, with all of this information at your fingertips, I tell my young people, and I will say it to you right now too, there is no excuse. You have no excuse right now. I know some of y'all are not going to agree with that, but that's completely fine. But as of right now, in my mind, according to the technology and the resources we have right now in having YouTube and things like that, there is no excuse. You don't need your teacher necessarily because you got someone on YouTube that's teaching it to you. You may not agree with that. That's completely fine. But my mentees already know how I feel about things when it comes to that.
So,
sorry, I didn't.
No, it's great. So there's a lot of examples that there's some merit to your argument, but it's more about the quality of education than the amount of money we spend on it.
Yeah.
Such as, that's why I'm a big proponent of school choice and educational vouchers and opposing the teacher unions. But the core is this, is that the number one predictor for a kid of any skin color, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, is whether or not dad is around.
Facts. Charlie been listening to me. I don't care what y'all say. Charlie Kirk been watching some of my videos.
Right. And I look as an outsider, albeit, at current black culture, right? From the athletes to the rap music to the music, I don't see the nuclear family elevated. Nor is it an internal black cultural expectation. Now, I will ask some of the white individuals here in this audience, okay? If you guys got pregnant and all of a sudden you didn't even know who the father was around, how would your parents react? Not great, right? Yes? Unfortunately, in black America, this is kind of accepted. Would you agree?
I can't say. I grew up around a lot of white people, so I can't say.
All right, okay. So, but it is a fact that it is accepted, right? So that's the problem.
That's true. It's accepted, and not only that, sadly to say, it's almost expected because the parents are not involved with their children.
The problem is that it's a cultural norm that has then turned into the cycle of poverty. The cycle of poverty can break very quickly if fathers stayed with the women they impregnate.
But most of these fathers aren't just leaving. A large majority of these fathers are ending up in prison. Like, this is
good point. Why do you go to prison?
Yes.
Because because you commit crimes. But the
No, sir. Stop. Don't say no but. Don't say but. There is no but. They commit crimes. There is no but.
because you commit crimes. But because the prison system has been targeted against minorities.
Again, we're not going to agree here.
Right.
That's
The prison system has been targeted to minorities. No, minorities, or whoever you want to call them, be it black, brown, whatever, are committing crimes to go to prison. The prison's not just sitting there going, you know what, I'm about to target them. No, you don't commit the crime, you don't have to worry about going to prison. How's that? That should not be hard to understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's actually under enforcement of the laws when it comes where there's, for example, only half of murders in Chicago get solved.
Right, but
Less than half.
are they all black people though?
Almost all of them. Yeah, like 80.
Well,
80
if they're not solved, how do we know that they're black people?
Well, because it's a black victim in a black neighborhood by a black gang.
Yes.
So it's like you can assume at a great approximation that in the west side of Chicago,
50% of the murders in Chicago that go unsolved are all black people.
not all. No, I said 85%. But we don't know who the perp is. But again, if you have a black victim at 2 a.m. in a black neighborhood, it's reasonable to say that it was a black on black crime. 90% of murders after 2 a.m. in Chicago are black on black crimes. I'm from Chicago.
Right.
I happen to know it.
So,
right?
Yes, sir.
How long before I
Y'all make sure you hit the thumbs up button while this commercial is playing with these AI people. It's ridiculous that they got AI commercials. It shouldn't even be allowed.
But like half of all murders in Chicago are unsolved, that means half of all murderers are walking free.
Yep.
So we have an under enforcement of laws. We have the ladies here in this audience should know this. You know that there's over 600,000 rape kits in this country that have not even been opened or tested, which means that there are women who say that they've been raped and their kits are not even put in the system. There are probably hundreds of thousands of rapists that walk free in this country.
yeah, no, our system is
No, what I'm saying though,
terrible.
that's an under enforcement of laws though.
Yeah, because our system is terrible.
No, I know, but you said we have an over enforcement. I don't think we have enough people in jail.
You don't think we have enough people?
No, like I said,
Yeah.
half of all murderers walk free. We don't even know who they are.
Okay, but I sure, whatever. But I'm talking. I don't think that I don't think that black people are as more than 50% of exonerations from prison are black people. Like a black person is more likely than any other race to be tried for a crime that they did not commit, and then to be released from prison for a crime that they did not commit.
That's not totally true. Let's pretend that it is. It's because they're in front of the justice system more because of the high crime. But let's try to find some agreement.
I'm talking percentages of exonerations.
No, it's because they're in the system more though. It's because you have more cases. But anyway, let's pretend that's true. Let's pretend the system's totally racist.
Actually, there's more white people in the system because white people make up
No, for sure.
70%. So you were just incorrect there, right? Like you're doing to me.
But they don't commit as many crimes.
Okay, so let's be cordial. Let's be cordial.
You're not being, so let's calm down a little bit, okay?
You're not being.
Am I being sweet to this guy?
Okay.
All right. Let me ask you one question in closing, though. If you could say to Black America, here is more money, more stuff, more housing, or more fathers, which one would you choose?
He has to think about it. Bruh, don't get out. Bye. Negro, bye. I mean, bye. He had to think about it. And that's exactly how they got the women. If I can give y'all more money, homes, free phone, free food, or I can give you a husband or a father, which one you take? Let me think about that. Oh, man. You had to think about it? Oh, my God. What is going on? Holy smokes. Please let this half Negro answer right. Please, Lord.
More housing or more fathers, which one would you choose?
More funding. I don't think.
What?
Because
What?
fathers,
He said more funding? Holy smokes. Black people, we are so cooked. Oh my God. Jesus on the main line. Tell him what. Oh my God. Y'all, I can't believe this Negro just said this. Holy smokes.
More funding. I don't think, because fathers, I think that you need to solve the problem from the bottom. I don't think you can just plant a bunch of fathers in and they're going to stay there. Like you said, they're just going to, like in the culture, it's not part of the culture. So they would just leave.
It's a hypothetical, meaning if the fathers were to stay.
Were to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, sure. If like I just knew for 100% fact that they were going to stay.
No,
sure.
we have agreement. So during the BLM stuff 4 years ago,
Ooh.
did we hear anything from the national BLM leaders or anybody about black dads staying around with women they impregnate?
No.
Did anyone mention that?
Nope.
No.
Why?
That's not even their mission.
It's the fundamental issue. The fundamental issue is if you have a father around, less likely to commit crimes, more likely to graduate high school, more likely to get a job, less likely to be in poverty.
How do we get there? Like, this is what I'm like.
No,
how do we get there?
Well, the first of which is you must raise the standard of expectation, both internally and externally in the black community, that we're not going to put up with men, because we're both men, fleeing the women that they impregnate. Yeah. That we will say to men that flee the women that they impregnate, you're a loser, we're not going to tolerate you, we're not going to be friends with you, that you're the scum of the earth, that if you impregnate a woman and you just run away from them.
Most definitely.
They don't care.
Do that now?
I get what Charlie Kirk is saying, but they don't care. And I would have loved to have a conversation with Charlie Kirk on that, because I get what he's saying, but I would actually give him a little pushback, and I'll tell you guys why.
I don't think all men do. I think this is very common. What's the word I'm looking? I think this is very common in just masculine culture in general, is that men won't do that too.
I actually think it's the opposite of masculine culture too. I think it's not feminine, it's something else. No, just fleeing from the difficult.
Well, no, but I'm saying in male circles, I feel like that is something that males would praise, or at least around my age range. That's something that happens.
So then I think we need to demand better. Thank you for coming up to the mic. I know it's not easy, and God bless you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what in the world did I just see there? What in the world? The young man did his best right there. I'm not going to hit him for that, but my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Now, when Charlie Kirk said he feels and think that if black people would make other black men that flee from their duties of being fathers and being husbands or whatever, he said if he think we made them feel like they're the scum of the earth and we called out the stuff, he think that would be and that's what I would give Charlie Kirk some pushback, because quite honestly, these Negroes don't care. They don't care about being that. We call them that anyway. These Negroes know good and well what they're doing. They know based off of their own natural biological makeup in their brains that leaving their children is morally wrong. And even if you tell them that it's morally wrong and you get down on them about being morally wrong, they just do not care. Why? Because you have something that has been ingrained in a lot of the black communities of those of a certain mindset. It gets praised too much. Even the women sing about it. Talk about my baby daddy. I got my baby daddy, blah, blah, blah. I got a blah, 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 blah. I got a little month over here. He got a blah, blah, blah. He blah, 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 blah. He give me 30 a year. I got a Travis over here. He got a blah, 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 blah. I say I'll turn up on that nigga, blah, blah, blah. And then my third baby daddy, he's a blah, 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 blah. And people up there dance to it. I mean, it gets praised. You praise something that's supposed to be bad, but if people are celebrating and praising it, you get a positive feedback loop in your brain. You think that what you're doing is good and right. They probably, yeah, man, I got 6 baby mamas, man. Y'all smashed all 6 of them hoes, man. I'm telling you, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's how corrupt it has become. Now, my pushback and my solution to it, which it works, is You got to get a hold of them while they're young. I don't want to say nothing to you after you made the mistake and ran away from your kids and all that. I want to get you before you even do it, like I do in medicine. It's preventative. I want to make things preventative. I want to get a hold of their brains and their minds at a young age, young men, and get them there, and get them into the mind frame to where we're not even thinking about girls. We get them in the mind frame to what we're going to be doing as a man. That's what my channel is called, Man, Husband, Father. I'm getting you in the concept of thinking and acting and moving like a man. Teaching you how to acknowledge that there's temptations, but yet at the same time, be smart enough to avoid those temptations. Let them know, oh, it's supposed to feel real good. It's supposed to be like, It's supposed to feel like that. But yet at the same time, I still want you to have that logic there to think through it. Right? Right? So, my remedy to the whole deal is to have them raised in a way to where you're not going to be dating or anything like that unless you are in a position or unless you're in a mindset to be ready to marry. Dating is not for sport. Dating is not for fun. Dating is not like they put it in the movie because everybody needs to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend. But no, they don't. One of my oldest sons, he just got a girlfriend. 23 years old. Just got a girlfriend. My 21-year-old son. Talk to him all the time. So you ain't trying to get you no girl? No, I'm focused on completing my degrees in cybersecurity. I'm going to work in cybersecurity, He talking about he going to get this money. He going to get him a Tesla. He going to get him a home. And then he going to focus on getting him a wife. Notice what he said? Then he's going to focus on getting him a wife. Not trying to have no girlfriend for sport, just to be there. He don't want his focus to be thrown off. He's focusing on building himself. Still under my wing right now. He focused on building himself, becoming a man. He's focusing on what his career goals are. He's focused on actually trying to go and provide a place to where he will be able to provide for a wife and potentially have kids. That's what he's focusing on. Why is that, y'all? How did that happen? It's gonna be me. No, it's not. My other one, he's self-sufficient, has his own place, and about to upgrade to a 2-bedroom. Right? Teaching them to be men and self-sufficient. Now, same exact thing. Because I vet. We don't have girlfriends for sport. If you have a girlfriend, it's because you have intentions on marrying. See what I'm saying? So, not that I would necessarily disagree with Charlie Kirk, in which I did in this particular matter when he said just, pretty much shame the men that have done it. My thing is, let's not even get to a point where we can talk about them doing that at all. Let's prevent it, period. In other words, get them young. Get it instilled in their brains not to even be on that mindset that this is life. Having a girlfriend throughout life is not a part of life. I don't care what they show you in the movies. I don't care what they show in the sitcom. Having a girlfriend throughout life is not one thing. Having a girlfriend while you're in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. That's not a normal part of life. Ty, but it is. No, but if you put the concept in their brain that it's not a part of life because you're putting their focus on something else, they won't be thinking about that. And it works. Trust me, it does. We mentor several young folks that have gone off. They're married, got families, got careers. It's a beautiful thing, right? Right? So, how did that happen? Because me, as a father, trained my sons. Yeah, you heard me. Trained my sons to be in that thinking mindset like that. Trained them to be that way. And so the answer to it is what Charlie said a little bit earlier. The father. Some of y'all can get mad all you want to. Yeah, but a mother. Yeah, mother, nothing. Father. The roles and what God has designed us to be has completely been taken and dismantled, but it is building back up. And when it builds back up this time, we need to make sure that it's going to sustain. So in other words, my sons know that I treat my wife and my home since they were kids as a kingdom. And there's expectation. See, I didn't get all crazy, happy, and cheery and lost my mind when my son graduated from high school. I didn't get all crazy and all ecstatic when my sons graduated kindergarten. I didn't get all crazy and ecstatic when they graduated elementary school, moving on to middle school. I didn't get all crazy and ecstatic and lost my mind when they went from when they went from middle school to high school. I didn't get all crazy and lose my mind when they graduated from high school. Why? It was expected. I know some of y'all don't get that. Some of y'all are not going to understand that. It's because it was expected. Just like I expect them to take care of their room when they were little. Just like I expected them to make sure that they had their shoes in the right place in their rooms and the bed straight and everything. When it's time to go to bed, clean up. I didn't have to tell them to clean up no more. Want to know why? It was expected. So when they did what was expected of them, I didn't praise them for that. That's your due diligence. If you get them in a mindset like that, folks, as a father, a very involved father, a lot of these things you won't have to worry about. No, Tar, that's not with all kids because my son snuck out because you weren't involved. I'm keeping it real. Yeah, I was that father that would walk. Matter of fact, when they were young, the doors couldn't be shut. The only reason why their doors would be shut in their rooms is because they were changing. My 21-year-old son right now still lives in his house, getting his degree in cybersecurity, right? He sleeps with his room door open still right now. I wonder why. It's been instilled. When he changes clothes, the door, he grown. He can have the door shut all he wants to, but he don't. He leaves his door open all day long. He sleeps with the door open. I instilled that in him at a young age. And now he don't even know, I don't know why. Now he can't sleep with the door closed, he says. He can't. It's been instilled. It's been ingrained. See what I'm saying? So when you train your children and get them on a schedule in such a repetitive way, it becomes a habit of theirs. It becomes a behavior of theirs. And then they just do it. Plain and simple. Anyway, folks, appreciate y'all all hanging out here tonight. Those of you that are in the mobile app right here, I really do appreciate you guys all being in here and y'all comments and everything like that. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you get up out of here. All right. And again, some of you that are on the phone right now, I get mixed signals. If you double tap the phone, it should give me a thumbs up rather if you double tap the phone, right? So if not, just hit the thumbs up button when we get out of here. But I'm gonna get ready to let y'all go in the mobile app. Appreciate y'all being in here. All right, I'll let you guys all go. God bless you all. And to those of you